This is Car Guys New England, your YouTube channel for anything automotive. This is Jay with Car Guys New England, and today's video actually is going to be about something that happened earlier this summer, and I've been kind of low-key about it, but now that it's kind of behind me and I've kind of moved on from the situation that happened, I decided to come forward and talk about it in a little bit of detail. So at the beginning of the summer, and it was pretty much right after Memorial Day, there was a Cars and Coffee event that I was invited to, and I decided to come check out the event. I was definitely excited about it, and I was invited with a group of probably about 20 to 30 cars. And it was a pretty big mix of cars, and I didn't really think anything of that or anything like that. And I'm not pretentious. I'll roll with any car. It doesn't matter to me. It's all about having passion for automobiles. And so we ended up getting on the highway, and quite a few cars ended up taking off. There was some shooting flames out of the back and everything like that. It was very overcast out. It was almost misting rain, but the roads were pretty much wide open because it was early on a Sunday morning. So I didn't realize this at one point. Now, my speed was below 100 miles per hour, which is the reckless threshold in my state. But unfortunately for me, at the very moment that I was passing an SUV, I happened to pass a trooper going southbound while I was in the northbound lanes. Didn't think anything of it at the time. Got a real quick blip on the radar detector. Still driving down the road. At this point, we're just cruising. We're between about 65 and 70 miles per hour at this point. And we were probably a good 15, 20 minutes down the road. And this is where we passed another trooper in the median. Didn't think anything of it and just continued along. And all of a sudden, after the back of the pack kind of pulled by him, this trooper flew out of his median. Didn't have his lights on. He was doing probably about 120 miles per hour. And he then put the lights on when he got to the group, and he kept making his way forward. And at this point, I have a state police car just completely on my butt. And I do have a video of that. It was captured by one of my friends, and I'll give him credit down below. So the trooper, he pulls me over, and he seemed pretty calm about things. And honestly, myself and my passenger were completely confused why we were actually getting pulled over. So at this point, the officer says to me, and he's just very direct, and he goes, "We're cracking down on this bullshit, and you were doing 116 miles per hour." And then he asked for my license and registration, walks back to his cruiser. I turn to my passenger, and I'm like, I was not going that fast. And I know for a fact I wasn't going that fast. And actually, everybody that witnessed everything go down that day know I wasn't going that fast. So I didn't know if I was going to get arrested, because 116 in my state is considered reckless, and they can arrest you right on the spot. So another trooper shows up, and he was a nice guy about things. He was just looking around, and the other trooper comes over that went to the cruiser, and he comes back with 2 slips. He gives me a citation for window tint, whatever. It's not a big deal. You just pay that and move on. But also, I had a must appear in court reckless operation, and I couldn't believe it. I just took the ticket. I thanked the officer because he could have arrested me on the spot, could have towed the Lamborghini. It could have been a real shit show. It could have been on the news, all sorts of things. But interestingly, they didn't make the arrest, which I was just baffled by.
That's bullshit. They have to hire a traffic ticket attorney.
So anyways, I get back and I decide that, you know what, I'm still going to show up at the Cars and Coffee event. And they were nice enough, the group that I was traveling with, to actually save me a spot up front. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And you're a good dude. And but anyways, getting back into the story. So once I arrive at the show, actually a trooper shows up at the show, and he's bragging how he busted a white Ferrari. It's a Lamborghini. But it was just really, really strange, the whole situation. So I ended up having to hire an attorney, which cost me well over $2,500, which absolutely sucks. Although the attorney was fantastic, and long story short, he managed to get the reckless charges dropped, and mainly there were a bunch of issues with how the police handled the situation. So the first officer didn't follow me, so there's no tracking history of my vehicle. Also, I had a passenger in the car, so and they didn't ID the passenger, which is just dumbfounding to me that they didn't do that. But anyways, it was sloppy on their part doing that. As far as the radar and the speed that he got, unfortunately, I just happened to be in the wrong lane while somebody else in the group gunned it, and it got the fastest speed. He looks over, he sees a white Lamborghini. What's the first thing they're going to pick out? They're going to pick the Lamborghini and say that I'm going that fast, which, if you look at my driving record, and that's also another good reason why things were dropped, I have a pretty squeaky clean driving record, and that really helped in my favor as well, because I'm not a lunatic in this car. I've actually never had a speeding ticket in this car in 4 years of ownership, and trust me, the temptation is there to be stupid in it, but being being a productive member of society and being a business owner, I don't want to appear on the news. So long story short, that's pretty much what happened. It really took the wind out of my sails this summer. Really screwed up my mojo. I wasn't producing as many videos and things like that because it was just added stress. Just the stress of worrying about court, and the attorney taking a very different approach than I would have taken. But that's also why I hired an attorney, is because I couldn't risk losing my license, and he handles this type of stuff all the time. And so thankfully, he did a phenomenal job. So, lessons learned, be careful traveling in a group of cars, especially if you're the one driving a flashy car that attracts police and things like that. Yeah, I just don't want to go through that again. I have zero criminal record or anything like that. So the whole thing just really screwed up my summer. The other thing too, I'm sure you guys saw the video where I had to go back to driving school. That was at the recommendation of my attorney. So I ended up making a $25 donation to the Troopers Association. So, but you guys never sent me a little sticker, which I'm a little disappointed about. But anyways, yeah, if you guys have questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. This is Jay with Car Guys New England. Until next time, take care.